Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I will bet you that you feel the same way I do and over the half the country in like total disbelief of what has gone on in this country. We were that way under Obama, but what's gone on in the first few months of the Biden administration is off the rails. I mean, it is almost like a nightmare, bad dream. What the hell? And I want to begin my show today with this. Why is this happening? And it's the American Communist 10. I want the team to put up my list of the American Communist 10 to remind you of why it's happening. The American Communist 10 have joined together and are rotting this upon our country. Let's cover what happened since yesterday's show. First, the mayor, the black mayor of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, says, I don't think cops necessarily need guns at traffic stops. Are you kidding me? The New Mexican police officer got shot at a traffic stop. My guess is that if you talk to police officers out there on a patrol, every time they pull over somebody and they have to walk up to that car, they're a little nervous. You never know who's in that car. Yesterday in New Jersey, they stopped a car, M13 guys, dead body wrapped up in the trunk. What? No guns? And look at the, remember what I told you? It's cha-ching, cha-ching, Democratic City. You've got a black mayor who's fired as city manager, and the chief has resigned when they just talk about due process. In steps Ben Crump. Ben Crump's already there, baby. And has actually said this was an intentional shooting. What a bunch of bullshit. I mean, complete bullshit. But you have the city government on the same side as Black Lives Matter and all of their bullshit. You can't make it up. Now, let's analyze some recent shootings. The Kenosha police officer who shot Jacob Blake, remember, he was the guy that was reaching, I forgot whether it was a gun or a knife, had it in his hand, was reaching for it. He's gone back to work. White cop, black victim, white police officer goes back to work, justifiable shooting. In that case, facts mattered. Due process took place. Police officers not discharged, back to work. Then we have the Capitol Police officer shooting. Now, this is amazing. Ashli Babbit is her name. There's a video where Ashli Babbit is going through a window at the door when she's shot. Right next to her are all these police officers walking by. Now, here's what's amazing. Ashli Babbit is a white, unarmed woman. To this day, we don't even know the name of the guy who shot her. How does that happen? Happened January 6th. We're halfway through April. We don't even know the name of the cop. Why? Can you imagine what Black Lives Matter would be doing if that was an unarmed black man? The Capitol would have already been burned and it would have been okay. This is what I'm talking to you about, and I'm the only one willing to say it. Tucker Carlson can't even say it. Black privilege. We have in this country now black privilege when it comes to police misconduct. It's unbelievable. There would be demanding who's the name of that police officer. What's going to happen to that police officer? Well, that police officer's not going to lose their job either. Shot an unarmed white woman. You know what? Do we go loot? Do white, when I say we, does the white race go out and loot and destroy Washington, D.C.? No. No, we didn't. Kim Potter. Now, we get to Kim Potter, who is the one who shot Dante. Well, in her case, she's already been identified, mugshot shown, and charged with second-degree manslaughter, negligence. She's already been charged and identified. And who did she shoot? Accidentally. Wasn't intentional. No, there ain't no racism. You ready for this? A guy who was breaking away from being handcuffed. I'm already on the record. She should be fired. He didn't deserve to die, didn't get his due process. But look at the difference, how it's handled as to Ashli Babbit. And then the riots and the looting. The riots and looting, it's like automatic. There's no correlation except lawlessness. Do you know why the Democrats, all those black leadership who don't want police and don't want, they want to be criminals. Nobody's saying that. The criminals want to get away with crime, and we let them. What gives anybody a right to go loot a freaking store when somebody gets shot and killed? Zero. Zero. And the whole Democratic Party leadership and black leadership in this country, that's okay. Well, what if we all did that with Ashli Babbit? Look how they treated these white people, because they were white, on January 6th relative to the Capitol. Where was the destruction? A door. Nothing else inside that Capitol was harmed. The only person that was shot and killed was a white woman that was unarmed. And they act like January 6th is the end all. And then we have this hypocrisy. They put up a wall and armed guards, the National Guard, to protect them. But let's defund the police, not have any walls, disarm America. And all these rich prima donna assholes, Hollywood types, all have armed guards. They're a bunch of phony assholes. Pure and simple. Now, since just yesterday announced they want 4 more Supreme Court judges. They're not even waiting for this commission led by Nadler from New York. They want to add 4 Supreme Court judges to the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, folks, I want to tell you something. I don't watch the news anymore. I check out my news online in my phone. I can't stand to watch news. News that I already agree with, like Fox News, I don't need to watch Fox News. I don't need to watch, they're preaching the choir with me. I don't need to watch it. I'm not going to watch the crazy news either. I don't need to, local news. I can't stand to watch any of the news. It's a waste of my time. Last night, I happened to look, this is kind of weird. I kind of de-escalate like 15 minutes before I go to bed. I watch some different television that I was watching. Like I watch a movie, I watch a series. I turn on and I watch Tucker Carlson for 15 minutes. And I watched Judge Jeanine come on a show, forgot who it was on. And you know what blows me away? These are national commentators on a national news program. And all they focused on was the Democratic Party doing this, 4 judges. Folks, it's unconstitutional. They can't do it. Now, the fact that they're trying to do it, we should raise hell about it. But here is Judge Jeanine, which I know many of you all like. I like Judge Jeanine. and these words don't come out of the top legal analyst, one of the top legal analysts for Fox National News. Judge Jeanine doesn't say, well, this is probably unconstitutional because the Supreme Court is created under Article 3 of the Constitution, and any congressional attempt past a constitutional amendment to add 4 Supreme Court judges will face a constitutional challenge. And guess where the constitutional challenge is going to go? To the U.S. Supreme Court. So how hilarious is that? How come the top legal analysts couldn't say the truth, which is this? If they try to do this, the people will have the last say is the United States Supreme Court. And based on what the court is today, it ain't even going to happen. Can you imagine if Donald Trump was trying to add 4 Supreme Court judges, what the freaking local media, the national media would do? If he was trying to pack the court? It didn't even work with FDR. These people, I keep saying the word. I want all America to use this word. They are political gangsters. I ought to trademark it. I haven't because I want everybody to use it freely. Political gangsters. Nobody, I've never heard anybody say that on national news. Maybe they're not allowed to. That's why you should listen to me. Political gangsters. Speaking of Supreme Court, Washington, D.C. has been voted by America as the worst city in the country. How sad is that? Washington, D.C. ought to be one of the best cities in this country. The history, the power, should have honor. We have a country now where everybody looks at Washington, D.C. as a swamp. I saw somebody say it should be called a sewer because a swamp is a good ecosystem. Maybe that's right. Sewer maybe is better. Hollywood and corporate America. Unbelievable. Netflix, Amazon, who else? Oh, Katy Perry, Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney. They all signed this, all these corporate signed this thing about elections and everybody voting. Do you know why they do all this stuff? They're part of the American Communist 10. They don't want corporate America, used to be conservative, corporate America, you can drag it all back to the media. I need to do a whiteboard on this. Corporate America now lets their fear of what the mainstream media will say about them control what they say and do. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. Everybody knows the Georgia election laws are not keeping people from voting at all. But yet you have this national campaign against it. There's a New York Times, you know, they're all for defunding police. I saw this photograph taken. Somebody took a photograph of guess who was in the lobby of the New York Times building? A police officer. The New York Times even has a police guard. But let's get rid of the cops. CNN. CNN has been busted. Don't you love Project Veritas? Project Veritas nails CNN. Clearly, it's defeat Trump. Lie, 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 lie. By the way, last night up in Brooklyn Center, a CNN crew got chased by mobsters. How hilarious is that? It's a shame they didn't catch them. D.C. statehood. Back to D.C. statehood. D.C. statehood, they're going to pass it. It's going to be voted on. Now, again, this will end up before the U.S. Supreme Court, too. But off the rails. Anything and everything. And I sit back, you know, the border issue, everything, it's just like, my God, political gangsters. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is taking a trip to Guatemala and Mexico. And you know why she's going there? She's going there to say, hey, we'll give you billions if you help us at this border. A bunch of baloney. It's not going to stop anything. In fact, you know what's going to happen when you give Guatemalans? First off, it won't make it into the people's hands because the corrupt public officials will take the money that we give them. You know what will happen as soon as we give? How hilarious is this? We give billions of dollars to Mexicans and Guatemalans not to come to America. Do you know what those Mexicans and Guatemalans are going to do? They're going to give that money to drug cartels to traffic their kids across the border. So we'll be funding even more illegal immigration. You elected America. Half of you did, even though we know how it was done. Joe Biden. Again, if you are somebody who's watching this who voted for Joe Biden, wouldn't you like some TV time? Sit right down in that chair and let's have a conversation. I've been begging for somebody. I'm blown away that somebody doesn't take me up on the offer. I want you to sit in that chair and we'll go over each one of these issues and you can explain to all of us why these policies are good. Gangster Pelosi, I just got to make fun of her. She said if those rioters would have got her, she would have fought them with heels because she's a fighter. She's a political gangster, but I don't see Nancy Pelosi as much of a street fighter. Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's, they've jumped in, the liberals. They've jumped in and said, it's all white supremacy. We have to change things in this country, blah, blah. Do you believe that a white, just like they abused the George Floyd death, a white woman police officer who says, oh shit, taser, 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 makes a terrible mistake and shoots a black guy trying to get away, that they're saying that that means white supremacy and racism through all the police departments? What the hell does that got to do with a single police officer in the tri-state? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Governor NOEM, love Governor NOEM. She has said, nope, until you're an American citizen, you're not coming into this state. How wrong is it for the federal government to let this immigration just pour in? By the way, do you know that one of our largest military bases in Texas is now a babysitting service? And then they try to spread them all out through the country. How wrong is that? So communist. It just reeks of communism. By the way, last night, and I'm going to post this, I watched this little bit on Hitler, and I videotaped it about Hitler propaganda and how you use it. Oh my God, I'm watching this and my God, this is USA Today, baby. San Francisco, only in San Francisco does this happen. Did you hear about this? The kids are going to be let back into school and the teachers are going to teach them from home by Zoom. Who are these people? Who are these teacher unions? Their leaders. Who are these people? Kids go back to school, but the teachers are going to still hide at home. And again, everybody who's on this side of the aisle with me on this, you know, I've been having these conversations like, oh my God, we locked down on something that 99.9% of you are not going to ever die from, even if you get it. It's incredible. We've quarantined healthy people, not sick people. The Republicans have countered the $1.9 trillion with a $650 billion part of infrastructure. By the way, I'm going to go after another Fox News host. I have Fox News on all day long at the office. I love Harris. She's a smart black woman. She had on two people to debate this infrastructure issue. And she's let the liberal black commentator point out to her, when questioned about this infrastructure, go through the list of things that the Republicans in the past have been supported. Real infrastructure. And I cannot believe that Harris doesn't immediately look at this guy and say, wait a minute, everything that you just said the Republicans have supported in the past is real infrastructure. That's not the debate here. The debate is everything else you're throwing in there. I mean, this is a Fox News host. Come on. Here's another one. Illegal Americans. Illegal aliens come in this country. The left is now touting them as American heroes. American heroes. An illegal alien is an American hero. FDA. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. I have, and I'm going to protect my source, but somebody who used to work at the FDA sent me something that supports my theory, and I'm going to read this. But I'm going to read it where the person won't you won't know their identity. But the FDA, he says what I said about what's the real reason going on with this Johnson & Johnson. He says you've nailed it. He says you've nailed it. And he explained to me what actually goes on in the FDA on these situations. Folks, this is why you should listen to me. You're going to hear things that you're not going to hear anyplace else. Who else in this country, as of yesterday, is explaining or saying to you that there's something else about this Johnson & Johnson they're not telling us? It has nothing to do with blood clots. They wouldn't stop it unless there was something else going on. Polling errors. We found out that all the Democratic polls, wait, we got all these polls wrong. Yeah, they were wrong. Trump had bigger support. They do this every election after the fact because then it doesn't mean anything. J.D. Vance, possibly running for United States Senator in Ohio. The guy that wrote the book, Hillbilly Elegy. This guy tweeted some support of Tucker Carlson, and he's now had to resign from a board. What'd I say? Communist 10, corporate America. This ought to scare the hell out of you. Chris Wray, our FBI director, said that they're opening a new investigation in China every 20 minutes, and there's 20,000 open investigations. I said this way back when Biden became president of the United States. I warned you. His globalism, his wanting everybody to be in, the open borders, all that stuff. I said, how much do you think they're really checking out people coming in this country and getting jobs in all these positions, military across the board? Not very good. I'll guarantee you, we're going to find out during the Obama years, this country got infiltrated big time by China everywhere and anywhere. 20,000 open investigations. Do you think China poured in during the Trump administration? I don't think so. 20,000 open investigations. Last but not least, I want to say two things. One, the violence in this country is coming like you've never seen it before. The bad guys know that if you're black, police officer ain't going to do a damn thing to you, and if he does, you're going to win the lottery. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm the only person in America that can say this. Do you know why blacks are arrested more? Check the statistics. Why there's more black crime in this country than white crime? Because they commit more crime! These bad gangster neighborhoods in these major cities, look at Chicago. It's the blacks committing the crime and killing each other. These black leaders go, well, blacks get arrested and incarcerated more than anybody else. Stop committing the damn crime. Stop committing the crime. They want to do it freely, and now they can. Now they can. It's crime on demand. MS-13, come on in. Black gangsters, go loot, burn down cities. And by the way, I was thinking about this. How freaking lucky and blessed that I am that I live in Independence, Kentucky, where none of that bullshit goes on. It's amazing. And most neighborhoods in the tri-state of Cincinnati. But folks, what's going to happen in Cincinnati and where it spreads to, who the hell knows? The last but not least, the economic calamity in this country is coming. We can't continue to borrow and print the money, continue to let China do whatever the hell they want, immigration pour in, all these freaking policies. It's going to hit. And when it hits, it's going to be ouch. You know, I just keep saying I hope we can hold on until 2022 and 2024. So ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, show might have been a little bit long today, but I had a lot to say. And I say it like nobody else is allowed to say it in this country. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope today is yours.